And welcome to From the Rubble, my post-apocalyptic world where I do my best to dodge bad guys and not be zombified while trying to survive in a harsh landscape that's gone topsy-turvy. And as I'm rapidly discovering, I'm very much alone here. Which means survival is the order of the day, self-sufficiency, and in the last episode we started to get situated. What I'm looking at now is the aquatic entangler because it's a device from the thermal series that will catch fish for me automatically, and that would be mighty useful to have a constant source of protein. And in addition to that, as you can see, I started on a little island, which initially was almost my downfall. But once we got rid of the flooding problem, the island is now turned into a defensive work. Right, this is our fortress of solitude. So we need to continue expanding the island so that I have enough surface area to do some useful things like farming and such. And I think that this episode will be primarily geared toward expanding the island and fortifying the island and getting more situated in this world, because we've been lucky so far in that we really haven't had much of a wave of bad guys come at us, but this mod pack has a mod that is kind of collects up the bad guys, and at some point we may have a Zerg situation, and we want to be prepared for that. In addition, there's another mod that, in addition to the normal Zerg threat, we have different moon situations, and it's Minecraft, so you have phases of the moon, right? Full moon, no moon, new moon, all that type of stuff. Waxing gibbous moon. But this other mod actually adds a harvest moon, and it adds another moon that I don't remember, but the one that I'm thinking about most at the moment, based on the topic so far, is the blood moon. And if you're familiar with Terraria, then you will have some idea what's going to happen there, right? When the blood moon comes out in this world, two things happen. One, you can't go to sleep. You're stuck staying up all night. And two, the monster spawn generation goes through the roof. So, at that point, it rapidly becomes a siege situation. Now, I don't, it's random. And I'm sure that they give me some sort of grace period before they start checking for that. I don't know how many days it is, so it would be nice to have have my walls built and the gates locked sooner rather than later, so that we don't get caught just hanging out underground all night. And that tells me that there is a mob nearby that's wearing a sophisticated backpack. And the music is coming from a sophisticated backpack with a jukebox add-on, or upgrade, and a disc inserted into it. So, I didn't see anything, and I don't really hear anything now. So they're not too close, or on the surface. But I could use a backpack. I really could. I mean, we got cows and we're working toward producing leather, but backpack would be mighty useful. And it's not here. So let's come down and see. I hope it's not a creeper. It's getting louder. Sounds like it's coming from inside this rock face. I'd be surprised if there's a room in here. It sounds like it's coming. Sounds like it's coming from right here. Oh. Worked stone bricks tells me. Oh. Okay. So, stone bricks tells me there's probably a room or tunnel or something under there. And that probably has our street musician in it. So, maybe we can tap in from above. Yeah, okay, so whatever it is, it extends to here. Oh yeah, something down there. That's it. I don't know what it is, but that is it. I don't hear zombie noises. Don't hear skeleton noises either. Could be a creeper. Ah, I hear something. Oh, skeleton. I wish I had a bucket of lava at this point. Ow. Hey. You know, raw potatoes really aren't cutting it. Not real fond of raw potatoes in real life either, but my mom can eat them like apples, which is bizarre to me, but yeah, eating raw potatoes is kind of like chewing on air as far as Minecraft health goes. Man, I'm only... Hey. So, this isn't going to work. This is going to be a war of attrition. He's pretty well armored, and I'm putting tiny dents in his armor. Meanwhile, he's making me rip through my raw potato supply, so I think I need to convert my raw potato supply to a cooked potato supply. I mean, let's face it, would you rather have a raw potato or french fries, right? There's no choice. And then we'll come back and finish the job, because I would very much enjoy and appreciate a free backpack. Plus, I'm using the sophisticated backpack mod, which means I swore I put water here. Apparently not. So let me put water here. Anyway, I'm using the sophisticated backpacks mod, and so the backpacks from that mod very much act like shulker boxes. So that can be pretty cool. Whee! Let's get these potatoes in the oven. And we'll take care of some business while the oven does its thing. And we'll use our saddle root seeds from the thermal series. Not exactly sure what a saddle root is or does, but it's from the thermal series, so this ought to be interesting, I think. We have enough string now that we can make some wool. I'm not for this episode, but in the near future, I want to have a bunch of collected wool because I want to make a windmill. And that'll get some power production going. And with some power production, we could start mechanizing and automating some stuff. In the meanwhile, I still waiting for those potatoes to cook, so I got some filler material here that we can use to connect the little pieces for our aquatic empire. So since the last episode, I spent some time thinking about what I want to do here. Initially, it will be an island in the water. Eventually, most of this will be filled up with a building complex. Specifically, I'm thinking that the basis of it would be somewhat similar to my other worlds, where I have an underground base that has everything you possibly need. But the idea there is to, as I encounter friendly peoples in this world, I want to bring them back here, right? This is going to be kind of like our a Minecraft version of Babylon 5, right? And last best hope for peace. But with that said, right, it's going to be kind of like the center of civilization in this world. So we'll be building manufacturing facilities, we'll be building shops, homes, eventually entertainment venues. Pretty much everything you would need to have a thriving. I really need to be careful about doing that when I'm already wounded, but and yes, I started to drown, so it left a pile of blood. I don't know what kind of drowning produces blood, but okay. But yeah, and along with that, I want to start reclaiming. No, why? Oh, because I'm starving. I was wondering why I was just randomly dropping blood there. So I also want to reclaim the local area. So while the center base will be the initial seed of civilization, I'm actually looking forward to a long-term project of... Let me stop for a moment and think about what I'm doing. Okay. So this long-term project would be, like I said, the seed of civilization, but I would want to then start spreading to the surrounding area. And I actually kind of have two goals there. I want to improve and possibly expand the natural areas, right? And I want to reclaim the buildings and either refurbish them or replace them with new buildings to build an expanded city. And I don't hear the music anymore. To quote Mr. McLean, I believe this is the day the music died. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry. Okay, let's venture downward. And maybe he wandered. There's a skeleton. Is that him? Might just have to rush him. But I don't hear anything. I think my backpack wearer has despawned, which was kind of rude of him. He was supposed to hold that for me. Now I'm kind of... Whoa. I guess this is where I came down. Okay, well, it still works. The water will take care of any pursuers. Okay, so, at least I got cooked food now, so that's better. Okay, let's park the boat for an easy getaway. So, the crag environment kind of gives you a smorgasbord of different rock, sand, dirt, gravel, you name it, it's out here. So this is good because this is exactly, this is great because this is exactly what I need. I definitely need all of it. So, and this rock jutting up out of the ground here doesn't really serve any aesthetic or practical purpose. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a big stockpile of resources, especially the dirt. Nice, got a diamond. Got the diamond through the mineral chance mod. When I'm mining natural stone types, I have a chance of producing a mineral or gem. It's the same base chance. It's just that it's kind of lopsided in that if you find gold or iron, you find a nugget. But in vanilla, we don't have emerald or diamond nuggets. So if you find emerald or diamond, you get the whole emerald or diamond. So in that respect, it's a little lopsided, but I'm not going to complain, right? I mean, in my other worlds, well, in all my worlds, there's a huge building element, and to a certain extent, that's still true here, right? I think the building is going to outweigh other factors eventually, but this is the world also, though, where I plan to do a lot more exploring and fighting and all that stuff. So, having extra diamond and emerald might be making sure lettuce isn't going to work. Just cabbage. Maybe I need to work on that. Having a bunch of extra diamond and emerald might make it a little bit easier. But then again, I've already gone out of my way to make a lot of stuff in this world a bit tougher. So I guess it balances out. It doesn't steal away from the fun factor for me. So that's the big thing. from up here you can get a pretty good view what's going on. So it looks like we've got quite a bit of city to the west, big open area to the east, and it looks like in the east there I see what looks like a bridge-like structure, and I think that is supposed to be like a freeway. It runs up over the water. So that would be part of the restoration too, is to build a road network. In this world, I have mods that give me a few options for vehicles, wheeled vehicles, powered wheeled vehicles. So having a decent road network is going to be an important factor. And this world is we're using the Lost Cities mod for terrain generation, and Lost Cities mod builds these buildings, but they're not structures, they're part of the landscape. And if you notice, the buildings seem to be pretty uniform in size. That's because the buildings are built on a chunk per chunk basis. So the buildings are all 16 by 16 and then whatever height. So I'm going to stick with that. In my building, I will build chunk by chunk as well. And then that way it would be easier to build on a grid, including the road network, so that everything meshes easily. And that just removes a lot of the planning headache from trying to measure and line up and all that jazz. And while I am apparently crazy obsessed with details and stuff like that, I am not necessarily averse to saving myself some effort or heartache. So there you go. You know, when I'm on my island, I'm thinking, man, this is already pretty big. And then I'm up here looking at my little island, and I'm thinking, man, that is dinky. Perspective. It's all about perspective. Something I'm noticing is like, if you have a typical naturally generated Minecraft world, and you got the biomes, of course, you know, with each biome there's a number of different resources that come in that biome, and so you generally have quite a selection and quite a quantity to choose from, and you don't really think about it much. I mean, there's times you might even think that it's too restrictive, depending on what you're trying to do. But in this world, I've started to see, and the more I think about it, it makes sense, that that is kind of in this world, it's better and it's worse. And I'll say it this way: like, for example, it's worse in that much of the landscape that would normally be, like, say, an open biome, you know, a swamp or something, is now used up instead with these buildings. Right, so in my mix, when I was setting up the profile for this world, I think it's something like close to 50-50. So 50% of the land area of this world isn't what we would call like natural. It doesn't have trees and stuff. So, you know, that reduces the number of biomes I'll have access to and the quantity of materials in those biomes, right? But on the other hand, it improves things because I've got a bunch of these buildings, and like we saw a building that was made of copper blocks and quartz blocks. Well, soon I'll be able to pulverize quartz blocks into actual quartz without having to go to the nether, right? So And there'll be a bunch of that stuff. And some of these buildings, looking around, I can see they're made of like, concrete or terracotta or something. So you can see that while access to a lot of natural resources is reduced, access to a lot of manufactured resources or more advanced materials in some cases is dramatically expanded. But it's not a balance, right? It's not like the materials that are harder to find naturally are made up for by the materials I have that are processed. No, it's all different. And as I think I mentioned last time, one of the things I did too is, the cities are actually generated terrain, not structures. There are structures in this world, but I went on my way to reduce the number of structures. So structures happen only 1/8 as often as they normally would. And that complicates things because, structures are where you can usually find a lot of free goodies. And I'm already working in a world that, I've made mobs quite a bit tougher and added the Zerg factor. And then with the situation of biomes and buildings I just explained, so the chests and such, or the trading opportunities you find in structures have been drastically reduced as well. So there is very much a I am legend type factor here, where I'm very much on my own, gonna have to do things independently. And this, because of all the reasons I just explained, I'm gonna have to think outside the normal Minecraft box. I've been doing that for I've been in the Minecraft box for years and years and years, and modded Minecraft changes that somewhat, but with this particular version of modded Minecraft, I have to change it even more. And that's one of the things I'm looking forward to in this world. Is that type of challenge. It's like playing a new game without playing a new game, or playing a new game without having to learn a bunch of new stuff, right? Yeah, I'm all for that. Okay. At some point, I would like to replace or expand this bunker, right? And that'll happen naturally because we're gonna expand into the underground quite a bit. Not enough string for another thing of wool. Okay. I've got quite a bit of material of all types, basics. So let's put that stuff away, and let's strip these logs. As I said before, the gonna need a lot of bone meal in this world for a number of different purposes. So stripping the logs, I mean, you don't have to strip logs, you can use it without it, but stripping it gives me the bark, and that's a free resource I can use for lots of different ways. Use it to make bone meal. I can use it to, in conjunction with bone meal and straw, to make rich soil. Grow food fast with the rich soil. So, valuable resource. No point in just, letting, it's like leaving money on the table, is what they say, right? And I want to make sure I efficiently use my resources, so when I put stuff in to be smelted, since I'm using coal or charcoal, I put it all in multiples of 8, so that we any coal we use completely. We don't waste any. Now let's go. Since I got cheated out of my backpack, let's go work on expanding our potential leather production. Run some wheat up to our farm. I don't know what to call it. It's not technically a farm, and it's not I mean, it's a semi-modern building with animals in it that we found. Completely lucky. So what would you call that? Ranch building? There it is. Up on the hill. Side of a cliff, actually, but these are very red roses from the Candlelight. Let's do Candlelight mod. I like that color red. Just like there's nether brick, and I think nether brick looks pretty cool all unto itself, but the red nether brick, that just knocks me out. That color red, it's just so intense. I just love that. Rich is the word I'm thinking of. Should have been using. Okay, only have enough for one pair of cows because third wheel type of deal. But now that we got 4 cows, next time I come up here, I'll bring 4 wheat. That'll accelerate things a bit. Maybe start harvesting at that point. You know, there's a lot of material here, and I don't think this finger of terrain is necessarily going to get me anything. So we can grab some of this material. Pass through. Yeah, thank you. So I may have mentioned, I know I've mentioned in some of my previous videos, I have a fear of heights, and it's getting mildly triggered right now. I can see this weird hole here, a couple of them. So we've seen some error messages on screen about errors in generating chunks. This is probably what they were talking about, or something like it. The system was generating chunks, had a brain fart, and just said, well, I'll just do something else. And did something else, is apparently leaving a big hole in this hill. What's weird, if you look down there, you have the hillside is made up of dirt and leaves, and normally I would think, oh well, like maybe they submerged a tree below the ground, but if you look the way the leaves are set up in the same pattern as the dirt hillside. So I think that's a hiccup in the Lost Cities mod, because when they generate the buildings, It also generates a bunch of leaf blocks as kind of like overgrown vegetation. And so I think that's what we're seeing here, is that's supposed to be generated overgrown vegetation. Comes up a little weird. But then again, since this whole world is a little weird, it just kind of naturally blends in. Nice. Nice. Get a nice view of everything from up here. See? Told you it looks stinky from up here. I think I explained my distant horizon woes last time. I do notice that things are better now than they were last episode, and I kind of hope that as you know, I won't be going too far from my base in the near future, so hopefully that will give the system time to get settled in this local area, generate everything, and properly generate the LODs and store them. Lots of material, good stuff. All that dirt's going to come in very, very useful. It kind of reminds me of, if you ever saw the movie Waterworld, right? The premise of the movie is polar ice caps shrunk and all that extra water flooded the world. So there's, you know, civilization, such as it is reduced to living on these little atolls, which are islands that barely stick up out of the water. And one of the most valuable commodities you could trade is dirt, right? That's because you need dirt to grow stuff in, and of course, if you live in an ocean environment, well, there's a lack of dirt. So it's kind of like how I feel living on my little island. Dirt is a valuable commodity. So start collecting up some of this metal. I do like this metal. The problem with it, this is a bunker metal that's from the underground bunker mod. I need, and so it's cool as a building material, but you can't do anything else with it. You can't use it to make weapons. You can't use it to like pull iron back out of it. You can't use it for any of that stuff. So it's cool for a building material, but I don't want to make extras of it because I would rather use that iron for stuff that requires iron. Nice. For those deeper sections, we'll definitely want to use gravel. But for the shallow sections, we can go ahead and use cobblestone. shallow basically means it's shallow enough that I can plant blocks all the way at the bottom without having to jump too far into the water. The reason I want to use gravel instead is then I can just drop the blocks to the top and let it sink and, you know, do most of the work for me. Plus, it's really hard to drown that way, so. And of course, as we build the base underground, all of this material will be recovered. Trying to get a bead on what's nearby, what I want to connect to earlier rather than later. Okay, let me double check this. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Now one block. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. One block too far. Okay. So that's one chunk. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay. So with those two laid out, I can finish this chunk. Now, normally, I don't build on a scale of 16 by 16, you know, on a chunk scale. So that means typically when I lay out fields and stuff, it's going to be based on something other than a 16 by 16 grid. But since I'm doing the 16 by 16 grid, and because it's chunks too, so there, there's no overlap between blocks in my grid. I'm gonna have to do something a little different here. And I haven't quite figured that out yet. I mean, it's not rocket science. I'll play it by ear. We'll come up with something. But when I do my 9x9 grid, right? That's based on the standard field size, where you have a block of water, and then you have fields in a four block direction in every direction. In that case, a single field, I'll grow a single crop. And that's just, I've been doing that for years and years and years. But with this whole 16 by 16, I could do that, but 16 by 16, those would be some really big fields. And I would produce, if I devoted that to a single crop, I think I would overproduce. Besides the fact that it really would limit the number of fields I could fit in an area, I would really overproduce something while not producing other stuff. So I think the 16 by 16 blocks will need to be configured in a way that allows the growing of multiple crops, probably 4 different crops, right? It won't be quite as much as giving each of them their own 9x9 field, but it'll be close, and that'll work. Eventually, I think we would want to automate the farming anyway. And the thing about farming automation is as long as it's in chunks that are loaded, and since we're right at the spawn point, these should be loaded. You don't need to automate big, huge fields of wheat or whatever, because since it's always running, you can have a small field of wheat, and yet over the course of a few real-world hours, generate a massive amount of wheat because it's just always going, right? As soon as it's ready, it's harvested, and we press on. And so the only time you really need the big fields are when you're doing your manual farming, because, you know, for efficiency, you're going to come in and handle all that stuff all at once. But in the meantime, there's going to be times that, you know, it's grown, but not all of it's grown. And if you harvest it at that point, it's going to be inefficient because, you know, some is ready, some isn't ready. Okay, I do believe we can make another wool block. Tomato seeds. Interesting. I didn't realize the Thermal Series mod had so many different crops, and what's more is I didn't realize that so many of them were going to overlap with the Farmer's Delight and some of these other mods I have. So I might need to spend some time offline adding tags and modifying recipes so that where I'm trying to go for there would be a tomato from any mod would work in a recipe that calls for tomatoes, right? It shouldn't really matter unless you're a big time crazy foodie, in which case then things like that does matter, right? It's like, oh, it's not just any tomato, but I need a specific, heirloom cultivar, and yeah, okay, I am all for the detail and stuff, but that's too far, or at least it is for me. If that's your cup of tea, then drink deep. But I find that for the majority of the human population, I'm kind of like compulsive, detail-oriented to a very odd level. So it's very rare for me to find somebody who's as bad or worse than me. But it's always an exciting time because it's a kindred spirit, right? Then we can compare notes on how worked up we get about the little details. Pretty soon we'll have enough land that I'll feel comfortable opening up jungle wood harvesting. I think I'll have to think about how I'm going to do tree farming because, again, with a 9x9 grid, I know how I set up 2x2 and 1x1 trees But if I'm going to a 16 by 16 grid, well, that kind of changes things a bit. I'll have to figure out how to work that. But with this wood, I can start building the wall. So we will want to build on the outside. Now, I thought about this, and what I want to do is, I guess technically the wall's high enough as is, right? If it's just one block high. Because you don't want in the Minecraft world, you don't want your mobs to be standing on dirt, right? When they are coming at you, in this case, we have a little island for wide moat, right? When they get to the wall, if they're standing on dirt, then they're able to do all the things they're normally able to do, which for zombies isn't much, unless you have a wooden door and you're on hardcore. Then they can break down doors, but on hard, I guess. But like creepers, if the creeper's in the water, if he explodes, whoop-de-doo, nothing happens, right? Also, if they're in the water like that, and the wall, even though the dry wall is only one block high on this side, for them it's 2 blocks high. So even with it as low as it is from my side, it's too high for them on their side. So that also keeps them under control. Though I think I would just prefer to have that extra block, because it looks, it looks like a real fort. And part of that is there's things you can do in the game to meet the game mechanics, right? So do something in a game and it works, done deal. And then there's things you can do in the game to make it look better or look more like real life. And that's kind of what this is, right? Is building this up in such a way that it meets the game requirements, but I'm able to do or I'm able to build something that looks more like you would expect it to look in the real world. But realism in Minecraft is a slippery slope, right? There's whole mod packs devoted toward realistic game mechanics, including survival mechanics and stuff like that. But at some point, it starts to become perhaps too complicated, right? It's starts to sap the fun out. Not for everyone, obviously, because somebody enjoys that. But I think all of us like a little challenge, but nobody really likes to have a crazy challenge, or at least most people don't want a crazy challenge. I don't. I mean, that's always been my statement, right? I'm here to relax and kind of break out of the real world for a while. If I wanted to make something more and more realistic and then experience that, I wouldn't be playing a computer game. I just open the front door and go out in the real world, right? Because that's not fun. I'm here to seek refuge from that. Okay, I'm coming over here because they seem to have a big stockpile of dirt that we can tap into easily. That works for me. Have to be careful because sometimes there's creepers running around up here in these sectors. just kind of shaving things down a bit. You know, it probably would have been, if I shave it down a bit, this is a good place for a pasture, right? You can keep like sheep or cows or something over here. It's safe. It's got a high wall. That would go a long way toward advancing my leather production, because, like I said, I need a backpack, something fierce. I think this is probably the longest I've gone in modded Minecraft of any flavor without a backpack. I hear music. Speaking of backpacks, it's faint though. This is pretty wild because, I mean, I've played like hundreds of hours without finding any creatures with musical backpacks, and in the course of less than an hour I've discovered 2, and I'm pretty sure it's not the same guy because it's a different song. This one's jazzier. And I'm trying to fight the urge to go after the guy because the last one was a bit of a bust. And, well, we'll see. If it starts getting really crazy loud, I know I'm getting much closer, and then it might be worthwhile. But right now, I don't want to tear up this whole hillside looking for it. All this glorious dirt. And again, because of the weird mix of resources and their availability, you know, for a lot of people, dirt's a throwaway block. And for me, it's, you know, brown gold. Seems like it's localized back toward the wall. And it seems like the further down we go, the louder it gets. Doesn't sound like it's from in the building. Yeah, I know I said I wasn't going to go digging looking for it. I'm digging looking for it. I want the backpack. Okay, we're between sets. Here we go. Okay. I want to be careful how I do this. I don't want to accidentally completely open up a chamber. Sounds like he's straight ahead. Now he's moving left. Sounds like he's slightly above. Sounds like he's moving to the right. This is aggravating. It is getting louder. Ooh. Scoria. Now it's definitely on the left. Behind me? I thought I broke into a chamber. I just broke into a hole that I had dug earlier. It's right here. Oh. So he's behind this wall, right? No. Forward and to the left. Sounds like he's slightly above. Now he's moving to the left. Oh. Deep slate, huh? To my right. I think I'm just gonna dig my way back up and out. Oh, that was a bit of a snipe hunt. But I'm pretty much out of time for this episode. Still so much to do. That backpack would have been... Oh, nice. Got lots of material, though. So we can finish this block, or setting it up, and then call it a day. So let me see. Watered crops extend 4 blocks out, so there's 4. And 4 from this corner. Okay, means... And then there's 4 between, so if I can put water there. So 2, 3, 4, water there. So then now I know where the water buckets go. Yep. Put one there. Put one there. One there. Okay, then I can take down these. I just use them for planning purposes. Okay, that is a lot of space for farming. See if we can move something over. I have some potatoes. I was hoping there'd be some others ready. So we'll do this by quarters. So that quarter of the field will be potatoes. Oops. I forgot to put water in here. Okay. Coal nuggets. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with those. I'm thinking the wheat and the flax. I need the flax because we want a bunch of... It produces string and we want a bunch of wool. Also, the flax produces straw, and we want the wheat for both the straw and the wheat because we're trying to get backpacks and need lots of leather. And then some other crop. Wild card crop. This is the area where I said I want to use gravel, right? Okay. Now we can start working on a second 16 by 16 patch. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So yeah, we'll need to, like I said, we're going to need to move the entrance to the base to 0, 0. But I don't want to tear up too much yet until I have a new entrance, because this is my fortified entrance now. Don't tear out the front door until I have the back door built. That it? No, it's not it. Okay, I think that'll do it. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16. Okay, and this one just lines up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yep, lines up with the middle. Okay, I don't think we're quite ready to farm that second patch yet, but we definitely can fill the first patch with some of these crops as they become available. And we can grab some more logs to wall off another side of our square or patch. Just so much to do, and it all needs to be done now. One of the problems I've always had is that I do love the long-term projects, but I don't know about you, but there's a certain allure, an attraction to starting a new Minecraft world, right? Where it's like a fresh canvas. It's all new opportunities, untapped potential. And as you start a new world and you start to lay the groundwork for surviving, right? You start to build your little house and stuff. You're looking around and you're getting ideas for what you could build around you, and that must kick off a lot of the chemical reactors in the brain that give you pleasure, because I love that part. I mean, I love it. Sometimes I crave it, right? You kind of miss starting a new Minecraft world just for that dopamine rush of starting fresh and checking out new opportunities, new potential. It's a sickness. I mean, I think it's better than alcoholism, I guess, or something like that. But it is a sickness. Okay, so we're growing a bunch of stuff. Try to kind of budget myself, because I also need wood for making charcoal and doing a bunch of other stuff, right? Okay. Still got some wood in my budget. That will be our shaft down, but for now it's part of the wall. And let's see what else. Final little bit of processing, and then we'll take a look at our handiwork and think about next steps. $32 is divisible by 8, so that just go in there. And those go here. And these go there. And these and these go in here. That too. Do I have enough for more wool? Nope. What can I do with a coal nugget? I can smelt stuff. That's it. Can't even turn it into a bigger piece of coal. Okay. Not exactly sure what the point of that thing is then. It's from the Gamma Creatures mod, so I might have to check that again, that mod description, or see if there's a wiki that might explain the purpose behind coal nuggets. Take a gander at our handiwork here. That is an improvement. As fortifications go, they're very effective on that one bit, but elsewhere it's pretty much completely ineffective. But it's a start. So next time I think we might do a little bit more exploring, see what's around, see if there's any low-hanging fruit. But until that time, I hope this finds you and yours in good health, good spirits, and perhaps a touch of good fortune. Cheers.